Hi guys, today our topic will be teamwork and collaboration. What do you mean by collaboration? In simple terms, we can assume collaboration as cooperation and unity. So, teamwork and collaboration are similar to one another, which are likely important if we talk in terms of society, administration in our country. So, to elaborate the topic, we are to include some important events that occurred in the past while our freedom fighters vigorously fighting against the British. So, firstly, let us mention Mahatma Gandhi, who we considered as father of the nation. And during his tenure from 2015 to 1947, he organized various organizations or movements, we should say, including Dandi March, Satyagraha, etc. And these were the movements organized by Mahatma Gandhi. And suppose there will also another freedom fighters decided to organize movements or some kind of retaliation because they all demanded India to be free from the British rule. Because the administration under British rule was quite terrible because they were slaves, and while they have their own respective belongings and they have no right to cultivate what they want, that was the actual problem. That becomes the main reason why every Indians back in 90s decided to fight against the British to gain freedom. Subhash Chandra Bose was one of the extremists. He decided to fight the British with full of force and by organizing an army, and he did so, which was named Indian National Army. And the place where the organization was came into existence, it was in Singapore. And Subhash Chandra Bose became the leader. But only a few people supported him during that time, so it was the problem being taking active role in the society. On the other side, there were moderates whom we can talk of Gandhiji, Krishna, Gokhale, and many others. And so, talking about the movements organized by the extremists and moderates, they did their best, but it depends on the people on how the results is going to be. So Subhash Chandra Bose, although he made a very good commitment to gain freedom from the British, he was supported by only few members So they could not achieve their intentions by fighting against the British with guns, with full of violence. On the other side, the moderate side, Gandhi, what his plans was to organize a movement, not to bring about any assault, and it happened so in during the non-cooperation movement. It happened in 1919. The non-cooperation movement was meant to organize to ban all the foreign pickets and not to send the Indian children to the schools and institutions of the British. They boycott the foreign goods, and in regard to administration, they boycott the parliament where important discussions has to be taken place. But the event occurred in Chauri Chaura, which is now uh, we know as Uttar Pradesh. Some Indians burned down to the police stations of the British, and as a result of that, Gandhiji quickly repealed the movement. After some times, when people came to understand the purpose of the movement organized by Gandhi, which is not about force, and it requires patience and non-violence. So when more people came to understand his perceptions, the movement became very, very successful compared to the extremist. On the other side, Subhash Chandra Bose, along with the other persons participated in the Indian National Army. They were hanged to death due to the attacks carried out against the British. And so Subhash Chandra Bose too was hanged to death. However, due to the teamwork and collaboration involved in the movement of Gandhi, eventually India gained freedom from the British. So we can clearly see what the outcomes are. Suppose, let's say, more people support Subhash Chandra Bose back in 90s. So I think even the extremists can also accomplish their intentions, and India could gain freedom through violence and through a war against the British. But the problem is there was no teamwork, there was no collaboration with the other people. So that became the main source of failure during his leadership as Indian National Army. So we had compassionate on him for being receiving only few supporters. Anyhow, India is the freedom of India is for all. So we are happy with Gandhiji and his friends who work under moderates for being very patient, and eventually through their movements we are able to gain freedom from the British, and now today we can enjoy our lives and do whatever we want in our country. So the key points that we are going to grab is about collaboration and teamwork. With this, I think the current events that we have seen in our world, if the NATO are united, Russia would not have that confidence to attack against the NATO, because NATO consists of several countries with the most advanced weapons, air defense, air defense systems, and many jet fighters, which we can use to fight against the enemy. So if the United States will not cooperate with Indians, Chinese, and NATO, I think no one will respect the country, right? So, especially in our society, we need this teamwork and collaboration, how to raise people's voice, and most importantly, to be able to administer in a decent way. We need teamwork and collaboration so that we can prevail peace in our society. And also, while we want something from the people, we should also make a request, or the leaders must request the people if they want something, but they had to be very clear with their perception or intentions, because if not, the leaders cannot be respected. So it is my privilege and honor to talk of this topic, teamwork and collaboration, and this much would be the topic for today. And if I made and make any mistakes while describing the topics as best I could, I apologize to all the audience for being very impatient and not fluent in English. Anyhow, I'm gonna practice more and will do well in the next lecture. Thank you.